Hello, everyone. We are live yet again. There, we're just the lighting. And this is going to be one of my authors' chats of the week. And as always, I'm going to keep an eye out for my co-host this evening. It is Friday, when I'm filming this at least. And I hope everybody had a fantastic week. I had some ups and downs on mine, but I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. But yeah, I'm really excited about catching up with my co-host, and we'll be talking about books, writing, publishing, everything in between. And I really am excited about seeing what she's been up to recently, and we'll be going from there. But as always, I always love to hear what people have been reading recently. If anybody has bookish recommendations, that something they fell in love with and they were like, wow, I want to tell the world, this is the time and place. I love hearing book recommendations. I've been recently trying to, when I say recently, it's been about a year, but even still, in a long scope of thing, recently been trying to expand my scope of literature that I'm trying to get into, and I've been adding a decent sized pile on my physical TBR as well as my virtual one, which is also my wish list, but we'll see. I'm a slow reader, and I've also been very, very busy this year for different reasons, and we may get into some of that in a little bit, well, who knows. But yeah, this is welcome everybody to Book Talk, and we'll be talking about all things books momentarily. This has actually been a big week for me, in the sense I had a novella release this week, and I just finished the first draft of another one, and it's been crazy. I've been trying to pin down one of my audiobook narrators for my Dark Viking fantasy. That narrator is George Blagden. He played actually he was one of the actors on Vikings, the TV show, so it was a very good mesh, and of course with him, he has always filming and everything that I have to kind of fit in. We'll see. I'm hoping, we're both hoping that we can get together and get one going before the end of the year. I don't know why my invite's not going out. Okay, it says I'm very good. Probably 15 times. But yeah, so I'm excited. Here we go. We'll see. Sorry, I'm readjusting. I decided to Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me? Hi, I can hear you. I can't see you at the moment, but I hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I don't know.
Okay. And that's the problem is unless anybody in the audience knows, I'm very bad with tech, and I would not know how to solve something to save my life when it comes to technology issues, and this is one of the reasons why things that shouldn't take as long as they do take 4 or 5 times as long. But I hear you. I know you're here. And I don't know the
At least
visual
you can
thing
hear me.
of yes. And
Well,
but yeah.
so it's my network is being weird, so I disconnected and then went to reconnect, but now my network isn't even there to connect to. So
Well, that's unfortunate. But hey, at least I hear you. And if anything changes, we can always readjust and see, the fact that you are a real person, and there we go, and not just I was gonna say a little icon. Hi! Look at your hair color. It is fantastic.
Hi.
How are you? I haven't,
Oh,
we
thank
haven't
you. I got
really
my
talked.
little Halloween hands in.
Love it. Yeah. You and
I
I haven't talked in a moment, it
Thanks.
feels like.
I know. Well, I'm good. The second book just came out last week, so that's been a lot.
How
Yeah, it's just been a lot. It's been more emotional than the first one, I think. Just a lot happened.
emotional in the story or
Yeah.
emotional as in the release? Okay, that's what I was asking, because I was just there's two different kind of emotions that could play, and it's I hope it was story driven and not bad release, because releases can be stressful.
No, yeah, it was just and and that was stressful, and even after weird stuff happened. I don't know. It was just weird. Like the first one went off like so good and it was just beautiful and it was everything you want a debut to be. This one just wasn't that. I don't know. I don't know. It was just different.
I feel like
So,
every release
but the reviews are really, really good.
good.
So,
Yeah, I know where you're breaking up a little bit, probably because you mentioned that you have poor service, but we'll keep this rocking. But yeah, hopefully your service picks back up. But yes, so just forewarning, you're breaking in and out. And so if I re-ask a question, that's probably why. But yeah, no, I understand.
okay.
Like, I've never been great at book releases. I'm always the long-term person where I make the sales in the long game, but I've just never been a
Hmm.
good book release person, and I can't figure out how to master that. And I see a comment popping up saying how much they love you, so that's good. But yeah, so
I love her
tell me a
too.
little
She's
bit.
one of my good ones.
Yay! Okay, well, for anybody who doesn't know, and the fact that if I've been having glitches recently, if this book talk allows me to download this so I can upload this later on my YouTube channel, let everybody know what you write and talk about your series and talk about your new release because we want to know more.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm Arabella. Hi. I write like genre bending fiction. So my first series, my first book, The Mark of Chaos and Creation, is really like a crossover mashup of sci-fi and fantasy. So it's really not one or the other. It's a really unique blend of that, but it's also got dystopian vibes and the romance and the enemies to lovers. So it has so much going on. Um, but it's super unique in that way. So it has that, and the sequel just released last week. It's called The Mark of Dreams and Darkness, and that one's actually like more adult than the first one. It's got the spice in it and more adult language, but I would say like the violence is about the same. Um, but it's just got a lot of action. The second one has like a Hunger Games plot to it with a big competition that's like a death competition and it is wild. Like there's like a race and it's so cool. Like there's so much fun. So, and the reviews of it have been really, really good, like shockingly good.
Mhm.
I think they're even better than the first one, and the first one did really well. So I'm glad that it's doing good. Yeah, it's you can find them on Amazon. There's also a really special edition of the second one, and I'll be making one of the first. So it's a naked hardback
Ooh,
and
interesting.
it has these edges on it. I can actually go grab it. Do you want to see it? It just came in today.
Of course, of
Okay.
course.
Okay,
Go
don't
get
mind
it. Go get it.
my funny background. I should have been prepared and brought it with me, but I don't know what I was thinking.
It's
Okay,
okay.
hold
It's
on.
okay. We want to see it. We want to see it. Now, I love, again, as I was mentioning a little earlier, it's been a novella release. I write multiple book series in epic fantasy and publishing multiple simultaneously. Do not advise that. But the series that I'm focusing on towards the end of this year is my Viking Dark Fantasy, The Guardian Speaker, and had a release on Tuesday. So it has been a big release day, I guess, this week, or big release month this week for various authors, which is fantastic. Hi, how are you, Jason? And but yeah, it's I love seeing new books. I love seeing new covers, and let's see yours.
Okay, so here's the first one if nobody knows what it is. So this is
Oh,
Chaos and Creation, so
oh,
pretty. We
it
and
is so
I'm
pretty.
And I'm sure I told you this last time, but like we had these weapons like made. Like
That is so
someone
neat.
drew them up or whatever, like so beyond what I could do. And so this is the regular cover for the second one. It's just thick. Like
Ooh, yeah,
she's
she's
a thick thing.
like a thick book.
So thick. Okay, so this is the special edition. So it's naked,
Ooh,
right? So pretty, pretty. This is the back. And it says,
ooh.
a vindictive hero isn't a hero, they're a villain, which is one of the quotes in the book, which I love. But these are the edges.
Oh gosh,
Check
pretty.
that out. So here, I'll show you what's wild about it. So they're not like sprayed on. They're like inside. Can you see?
Oh wow, yeah.
So each page has the ink on it,
Mm-hmm.
and they come together to make the image. Isn't that bizarre?
That is
I don't
cool.
know. Yeah. That's the best way I know how to describe that.
That is really no. I've yet to figure out or get into. Well, thank you. Figure out or get into edging of anything, and that's one of those. steps that maybe next year. I have enough projects this year that I have to try to figure out, including I've been struggling for months on getting my shop up and running,
Oh,
my directly
yes.
on the website, and it is so sad because I keep seeing other people do it. I'm like, I don't know why I can't figure this out, but I'm not techie, as I said in the beginning of this, not techie. But with that said, I love people who figure out how to do edging, and yours is really pretty. So going back to your custom thing, what are some of the symbols and how do they relate to your story? Can I ask that?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay, do you see it on the site there? That
Yes.
symbol? Okay, so it's right here too. And then it's, you can't see it on the cover of that one, so, but you can see it on here. So
Mm-hmm.
each of these, they're called, in the book, there's a magic system. And so, there's six, right? Yeah. So there's six characters. They have these symbols like on their chest. And so each one of the symbols is connected to like a certain
Ooh.
magic, right?
Oh,
So
cool.
so each character has their own symbol, which is corresponding to their own color and their own weapon. And so they're all together in this thing. And so they're called elendril crystals, and they're actually like this celestial like thing. I don't even know. Like like I do, but I don't. So,
Hey, sometimes the
um,
story tells itself, and you just are like there to just write it down.
silly. But yeah, so there are these artifacts that they're physical, like they're a physical crystal, and that's why they're called the elendril crystals, but they're like implanted into the person, and then once they're implanted, they get the symbol and then they get the magic and they get to use it. But they can lose the crystal, but if they do, it kills them because it's like it
Yeah.
implants in their heart and they're stuck with it. So like in the first book, one of the characters is trying to like get the crystal from the main character. So he's after her, he wants hers, and his motive is really cool. I can't spoil it, but his motive is really cool, and you don't find out exactly why he wants it until later, and you're just like, oh my God, that's why he wants it. It's crazy. So
That's me.
yeah, the symbols are really cool. So for the third one, I think I know which symbol I'm going to use, which would make the cover red.
Mhm.
But I'm kind of torn because I kind of want the green cover. I don't
Ooh, I love
know.
green. I do love green, but red does pop too. And you have two
Yeah,
cool shades. And as my artist brains, like you have two cool shades, so it depends like how jarring do you want the third book? Like I guess the storyline, how jarring is the storyline of the third book? Because
it's crazy. Well, and I think for the red, it would be like a very cool tone red. It wouldn't be like a
Mhm.
warm tomato red.
Okay,
It'd be
okay,
like a
okay.
cool blue undertone red. Because I'm
I
an
got
artist too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I love that. I absolutely
Hmm.
love that. Okay, now artist, let me go ask. I did see a glimpse that you had a tattoo on one of your arms. So let me ask, if you could choose one of the symbols, sigils, which represents, whatever magic. I should have asked first what type of magic you had in your world system, your magic system. But which one would you choose if you had to put a tattoo on you? Okay, now explain that magic because I don't know the
It's okay.
sigil.
So, backstory: this is a real symbol called the Merkaba. The
Okay,
other
I don't know
symbols,
that one.
I
Interesting.
yeah, the other symbols I drew and created. So this is a real one. The other ones are fake, but this one is the main character's symbol. She's they call her the star in the book, and it's because of this. Obviously, it looks like a star.
Mhm.
And so I would definitely get this one because it represents her. Like in the second book, it's used as a symbol of the rebellion. So like in Hunger Games, how like the Mockingjay symbol was like everywhere. That's
Mhm.
how this is for the rebellion in the book. So the rebels like
Mm.
put her star everywhere, and the villain ends up like outlawing the symbol and everything. So it becomes
Mhm.
something different than what it starts out being. And like in book one, she hates her power. She hates the fact that she has it. She feels like this symbol and the magic and the crystal like ruined her life, and so she has to come to terms of accepting it and accepting herself, and all of it, like it means so much, right?
Mhm. That's okay. That's really cool. Now, two things. I have two things to say. One, again, I don't, tattoos aren't for me, but I could see now you do like almost like a charm bracelet or an anklet with all your symbols
Oh,
around.
cool.
Okay, that was one thing, and then the other the other thing is, again, my brain always works with how can I help other authors better themselves. If you ever choose to merchandise, I could see you choose like the whole symbol thing, and everybody could choose, like a mug, and which one is your people and your population or whatever, however you describe it in the book, and there
That's
you go.
genius. That's
There you
so genius. And I actually have, I think it's on my phone, so I can't show it to you, but I have all the symbols together and they
go.
all make one symbol. And it is so cool looking. Yeah, and I designed it that way specifically so they would be like together. And I've never released it because I kind of want to make it an NFT, but that's like really complicated. So I don't know if I'm like smart enough to do that. I think if I really was like, okay, if I really want to do this, like I could do it, but like who in the hell would buy it? That's kind of like my thing. Like who would buy that? I don't know. I think NFTs are kind of stupid. So I don't know. I might just release it with the third book, maybe on like a sweater. You'd buy it. Thanks. Oh, I'm so glad. So
Whoop, I think we're cutting out for a second.
one person would buy it.
Got you back. Got you.
But it's really cool.
That is cool.
Oh, okay. Did I glitch out again?
Yeah, it's just a little bit, but it's actually not terribly terrible.
Okay, good. Stupid connections. I'm right. My Wi-Fi is literally 2 feet from me, my little modem. I don't know what the deal is.
It always is going to be when you're trying to do something, especially if it's anything live or something you can't like edit afterwards. That's when it glitches for me too, and I feel always bad when that happens. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what went wrong.
Right? It's just, oh God, it's so annoying. I can't stand it. But yeah, it is. It's only when you need it for something that you can't change or fix that it decides to be silly.
Well, if you have you're going back to your special symbol that you haven't released, you never know if you ever build like a hyper fan base where I feel like looking at some of these comments, you actually have a few hyper fans, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that depending on how you want to do it, you could have like offer something exclusive to them and, just extra perk. Who knows? Whatever you want. But that's really cool that you figured out how to do that. That's a little beyond me. I've never figured out how to work a good symbolism in my series so far, and so when I come to like I've been wanting again trying to figure out how to do a good bookish shop, so not just books but bookish stuff. And I look at other people and they're like, oh, we have these sigils, or oh, we have like emblems or banners or whatever for different regions of their fantasy realms. I'm like, I don't have that. None of my books have that. It doesn't make sense. What do I do?
Oh. And I think it really is just about like finding like different just little categories, right? And then just playing with it. Because I know like with this, and all the symbols used to be different. So before I published, I had done the same thing, but the star wasn't the Merkaba. It was something that I created, and it was other, and it looked like trash, right? It looked really bad. And so I think because I don't even know, like it's been so long. I'm trying to like remember how I came up with it, and I don't know. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could be like, yeah, this is what did it. But I think it's really just like finding what makes them a little different, and then just branding it in similar but slightly different ways, and then you just take that and make it a part of the whole thing. Because like on the weapons, the marks are on the weapons too. So it's like you just put them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That it takes on a life of its own, honestly.
That's really cool. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so you released book 2 last week. Congratulations yet again.
Thanks.
Okay, so what were some of the things that you did? Did you celebrate it any specific way? I mean, every author does different things. And again, for me, I'm the worst about it. I'm so bad about it. But yeah, so what did you do to kind of celebrate the fact that you were doing a book release and promoting that?
I went and bought a bunch of clothes. I don't know. I didn't have a party or anything. I don't know. I kind of felt like, I don't know. I was so stressed out. Like I said, it just was different than the first one. Um,
Well, the first book is like you have this high because it's like it's your first book and it's here and it's
yeah,
real, and
yeah,
so I understand. It's always going to be a little different.
yeah, yeah. It was interesting. I didn't do anything. I was just at home. Like I was on my phone all day, like
Mhm.
doing that. And there was a lot of tags and a lot of
What?
videos, and a lot of posts, and a lot of
Yeah.
attention on it. So like that took up the majority of the day, me just responding to everybody because there was so much.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. You'd think it'd be good. But yeah, it was just different. I don't know. I know I'm sounding kind of bummed about it. It just went different than I thought it would go. Sequels are different and
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, again, when you start a new series, it's a new series and there's buzz about something new. And then
Yeah.
there is also, I think, a drop off when it comes to readers of your first book to the second because it doesn't matter how fast you put them out. You could be a super rapid release person, but someone wants them quicker and then moves on to something else. And you do have a drop off. And it's each one's a different animal. And I wish I could give you good advice, but I literally, for my novella series now, I will admit, this year I'm doing a pseudo rapid trying to catch up because everything got pushed off. It was a weird year. Um, for my novella series. Now they're novellas and there are a lot of them. So at this point I'm kind of like, oh, by the way, one released. If you're reading the series, pick it up. But that's pretty much it, all you get. For my full length, I do a little more dedication. I think going forward, if it's a full length, a true novel size book, then I think I liked doing the Kickstarter that I did for the first time this year. And I was like, that's a fun way to like promote as well as, push off and kickstart your book. But for my novellas, just because there are a lot of them, and they're novellas, they're short. I'm just like, by the way, it's here. I just dropped it. Surprise!
And,
Moving on. The next
you're
one will
right.
come in X many months. Get ready.
Right. And I did a ton of marketing. I did a way bigger push this time than I
Mhm.
did the first one. So I don't know. Like it was just the energy was just weird around it. I don't know if it was just a weird time. It landed like kind of right in the middle of that like Kindle thing that's been going on. And I know that's been affecting a lot of authors too. So I'm
Mhm.
not sure if that was why or if it was something else. I don't know. I mean, like it's got it like I said, the reviews are really good and there's a lot of them. Like I already got like close to 45 reviews on Goodreads and it took me like almost a year to get that
Fantastic.
for the first one.
Hey, that's fantastic. I will be honest. I have books that I published like 3 years ago that haven't even lapped 20 reviews. I can't figure out how to like pull teeth. It's like pulling teeth. It really is like pulling teeth. I can't figure it
It
out.
is.
But it's one of those things. It's also hard. You have to like not demand. You can ask politely, but not demand for reviews. But anywho, but no, that is fantastic. You should feel good about that. You are a leg up from other people. Just throwing that out there. Take a breath. But yes, but yeah, everyone is going to be different. Some are going to just for whatever reason. It could be, like you said, um, all this other buzz that's going on in the bookish world for different reasons can affect things. And I know for me this year, my ads, which I was feeling so good about, just bombed this year for whatever reason. I can't figure out why. And other things, it's just like, but things change. Next year, maybe all of a sudden everything spikes and it picks up faster. So don't assume it's your book. Sometimes it's just external things, and unfortunately, it affects you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean like it's still doing fine. I just thought it would do better, I think. Is kind of so that could have just been like just my expectations, just going off of how good book one did on release week and the numbers that it hit and it just did really well. And
Mhm.
that's what's so weird is that I had everything that you think you would need. I had hundreds of ARC readers. I had all the tags, all the shares, all the people wanting it. So it was just really weird. That's why I said the energy was just weird. Because it's like everything was there, everything seemed like it was good, and then it just was weird. So I don't know. It's weird.
And remember, long-term game, long-term game. The
Right.
thing, especially when you're doing a series, and
Yeah.
I don't know how long the series is supposed to be for you, but like, especially with the series, it's a long-term game. Each book helps boost the whole series again, and you start making new sales. And it's a long game. It's once you write it, you can always sell it, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Unlike other kind of merchandise, which is different, like a book is something that once you write it, you can continuously sell it again and again. And maybe some patches of time it's a little slower, but it's there, and it's there for the taking for people if they so choose. So
That's
don't
true.
be so bummed. Don't be bummed. It's again, it's a different feel and it's different, scenario. But
Yeah.
you should also remember, just let you know that not everybody gets, what would you say, 45 reviews in like 2 weeks. So it's
True.
okay. You're doing
Yeah.
good. We always want to do better, and you always want to challenge yourself to do better, but
Yeah.
you're doing good.
Thanks. Yeah, no,
And
I think you're right. I feel better about it now than I did like those first couple days. Those were pretty rough. Like, ugh. But yeah, it's just different.
oh yeah, and I do see a comment, and that's very true. There are a number of people who wait for a completed series before starting, which annoys me when I like to write long series. But
Right?
it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. It is very, very true. And everybody has their
Mhm.
preference. And I'm not gonna, every reader has their right to read whatever they want whenever they want. But
Yeah.
as a series writer who likes longer series, it's hard because you want to make the sale, but it is hard. And I will admit, once I finished my first series, it's only 4 books, that I started having, way more sales than I had when I was trying to incrementally release it, because now I'm catching the people who read full series. And I always
Yeah.
get that question. It's like, is the series complete? I'm like, that one, yes. These two, no. Give
Right.
me a few more years. And they roll their eyes and they're like, we'll be back. Maybe. I'm sorry. It takes
That's
time.
true. And
Oh,
I'm going to book Gowns and Crowns next year, and
ooh.
so it should be done then. So I'm hopeful that that will help too because it'll be done. But that means I really have to like I don't get much of a break because like as you know, like with these bigger novels, like you gotta once you release it, like you have to like start right away. It takes like a year to produce it. Like it really does. It takes, for me, it did anyway, because like it took me like I don't
Yeah.
even know how many years to write the first
Yeah.
one, but
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the second one, you're like, but I got the second one done and published almost a year to the date. So like it was
That's good.
that's fast for me. Like, yeah. So, and it's bigger. It's bigger. Let me show you the comparison because they're definitely, oh God, these things are heavy. So
Oh,
it's
but wait.
not much, but it's bigger. You could see it more that way, that
Yeah.
it's just thicker. And so, yeah, and we were even rushed. Like the development editors wanted way more time with it. The other editor wanted way more time with it. Like, but I don't think they needed it though. I think it's the story is good. Like the book itself made it, it's good. It's so much better than the first one in a lot of different ways. Like first one, oh my God, fucking embarrassing. There's just like you just learn so much from your very first one to
Mm-hmm.
your
Oh
second one. Like I just learned so much. It
oh yeah.
yeah. So
And let me
thank you.
read a couple of these comments because I had some people chiming in, and
Hey,
one said, Caleb said, I wonder if you design a bunch of single books, so standalones in the same universe, and
that was a
make
great idea.
nuggets to tie them together. I actually have heard authors doing that, and that's a brilliant way to approach it. I'm not one of those people because I do like a big series. Not to say I can't write a one-off from mine. Would you ever write like a spin-off book?
Probably. I mean, I was okay, so this pertains, I promise. I was at Barnes and Noble yesterday and some girl there asked, she was like, "Can you tell me where this book is?" And it was so funny because I had set all my books down at one of those little tables and I was like thinking, should I buy all these? And so she comes up and she's like, "Can you help me find this book?" And I had like my key lanyard on and she thought I worked there and I didn't. But anyway, we got started talking and she was a writer too and
Ooh.
we were talking about and it just what we were talking. My brain just went out. I had a point. What were you just talking about? Like that just totally distracted
A
me.
one-off story
Yes,
based in your universe.
yes. Okay, so sorry, I'm like a squirrel. So I was telling her about Rebecca Kennedy. Do you know who she is?
Yes, yes.
Yes, she does that really well. And I think it's just a really smart, honestly, because you just you can connect it, but it's a new release every single time.
Mhm.
And people don't have to read the first one or the second one or the fifth one or whatever, you know? And it's smart. And Elise
Very, very.
Kova, I think, is
Yeah,
doing that too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
smart.
I think when you write, and now this is just my personal opinion because I'm epic fantasy. When you are a romantic person, it's easier to do a universe and essentially, in theory, one-offs. Though usually there is a method that if you read in order, you get the little I'm flipping it. It's not red herrings. It's the what's the
Easter
other term?
eggs?
Easter eggs, and they
Yeah.
tie everything together maybe in the final one, but like you could read them almost all standalone, and I think that's a great thing that they have. Which
Mhm.
again, when I do these deep epic fantasy, I'm like, you we probably should have read the first ones to understand what's going on. You know, it's harder. It's harder depending on your style of writing,
It
but
is.
yeah, I do like that concept, and I also see a comment talking about trying to create your own fantasy language. Tolkien would be proud because, but yes, but yeah, let me actually
Oh,
before I go and get lost in the comments for a second, I did want to ask you because I have been interested, and I always watch the feeds of you said you were going to do gowns and crowns next year. I always watch the feeds of people doing. I've never known how you sign up for that or how you get involved, but like it looks so much fun. So you have to tell me how you enjoy it because I knew a number of people who went last year, and it always looks so much fun.
yeah, and I really like the way that I got into it is I knew a couple people who went the set those this last one and the one before. I don't know if they like got me. I don't know how any of that worked, but
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know. They told me about it and I signed up and all that, but just really following their social accounts and like seeing when they're accepting authors, like I really want to try to get into a Polycon at some point because
That
that's
would
like
be
a
fun.
really big one. And I
Mhm.
was too late to apply for the one coming up next year, so I really want to like scope them out and stalk them to get signed up to see if I would be. I don't know if I'm big enough to be at a Polycon, probably not, but one day hopefully. And I'm going
Goals.
to another one too in Colorado. It's very similar to Book Grounds and Crowns, but it's a different company. And it's based off the Akatar Ball, so it's like the Starfall Ball, and it's all Akatar themed and stuff like that. Um, and with her, I got into that one because I just was following the gal. Like I was just following her and bought the tickets to go to the ball first, and then I got accepted as an author to do the event. So it's kind of like just being at the right place at the right time. In finding the accounts and the people who are running it. And if you want, I can DM you and tell you who they are so you can just keep an eyeball out for it next year because I'm
Me.
sure like books, gowns and crowns are doing it again. Because they're real this year, the one coming up is seems way bigger than the ones before, so I'm sure the next ones will be too. Because I know
Man,
Tracy Wolf is coming to the one in Seattle, which is crazy. Raven Kennedy's going to be there, so I hope I get to
yeah.
meet her. But it's kind of intimidating though. Like I don't feel like anybody knows who I am, so it's just like, oh, like, so
Hey, you
it's
have to start
intimidating.
somewhere. You have to start somewhere when it comes to that, and that's one thing. Is like I will admit, I in Atlanta, East Coast side people, and they've one of the biggest kind of sci-fi fantasy conventions in the nations. There, it's Dragon Con. It pulls in a disgusting amount of people. Anywho, I've been a panelist for a number of years, but like the reason why I got into it was because the connections I make from book talk, and it's just one of
Yeah.
those things like and I know people will have opinions on when you're an author, do you market just to readers? Do you do readers and authors and the book community? Like, how do you do it? And everybody can do what they want and what they feel like. For me, I like to network. I love to
Hmm.
meet readers. I love to meet authors. I love to read upcoming writers. And you never know what experiences will, present itself to you if you're just, you know, nice,
I
friendly, and be
agree.
like, let's talk about books.
Exactly. And I don't see why you can't market to both. Like, I don't see how that hurts, like,
Nope,
so
nope. I just I like talking about books, but then again, I'm an
me too.
extrovert in a very introverted lifestyle. So I like to talk about books or talk in general. Anywho, I have a question that said, "How do you feel about pictures in the novel?" So I'm assuming it's pictures like images embedded in books. I'm assuming that is what I'm guessing. Clarify if that's different, but I mean, I'm not against it. But I understand there are definitely people who don't like images of character art because that will then distort what they have in their mind. On the other
True.
hand, I'm a person now that I am an author, I'm always curious of what the author sees. What does the author want? And the same thing is for me, is I kind of want everybody to see what I see. I know that's
Hmm.
not the case, but I kind of want people to see what I see. What do you feel like?
I don't care either way. Like, I just like to see it. I love fan art or character art or whatever. I'm such a visual person. I mean, as long as it's not like every chapter there's a picture or something like that to where it's like distracting, then I'm like totally fine with it.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I do say comment. I know this was from back when we were talking about standalones in the same multiverse. I'm pretty sure this is when the comic came up. But it said Lindsay Sands, hopefully I pronounced everything right, does a good job with the Arjanu novel series. So I'm assuming that was about the whole one-off. Okay, just catching up. And if you see any questions on your side, I know it's weird. This platform's weird, and sometimes I can't see all the stuff you see, and vice versa. I don't. I'm assuming it's cool, like who's following who and all that kind of stuff. But always feel free. Anywho, but yeah, no, that's so cool. Like I said, going back to the Gowns and Crowns, I hope you have a fantastic time. I can't wait to see what you wear because that's really cool. And yeah, no, I love the book community. It is fantastic. And you never know where it'll take you, and especially this platform. There are so many fun options and people and experiences.
There really are. Like, I I don't know. Like, I don't know where I'd be without it. So it's definitely a fun place and lucky to be here, really, and it's just crazy like what we can do with the platform. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, it's just crazy. I love it.
So going back to your series, okay, you have two down. Now, how many have you in your mind at this moment of time? You can change it. At this moment in time, how many books, not people, books, do you intend to write for the series at this moment?
Yeah, just three for
That's
now.
trilogies
Yeah,
are
they're
very popular, so.
yeah, and the story just, I mean, yeah, I honestly three, if like something crazy happens and the series like gets really, really popular, I may do a prequel because there is a story there. And the people who have read the first one know what I'm talking about because and it would have a lot of the same characters in it, but it's just a terrible ending. So that's why I didn't start the series there because of the way that it ends. It's just very tragic. But I think it would be a really cool thing. I think the readers would really love it, especially since one of the most loved characters is the villain, and he would really be center in that. Oh, I would love it from his point of view too. That'd be so cool. So uh, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. Like, just because where the market is, like I think people hear that it has sci-fi in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she loves him. I love him too. Everybody loves Malachite. Everybody simps on him. And he does a real bad thing in the second book, but people are still just like, I read a review right before I hopped
What
on
was I
here.
doing?
Yeah, no, they love him. And the review was like, I think it was like, and call him a Malachite, and that was it. because he does something so bad, but like you know why he does it, and it's just like, oh, because he's a villain. Like his arc is so cool because he's like in love with the main character, like in love with her soul, and it's wacky, and he just wants to be with her. Like he wants her heart so bad, and he like draws the darkness from her because she like the second book especially is like a real battle of the heart, good versus evil type of like character arc, and she's struggling to like decide, am I a villain or am I a hero? And she's with one guy who's a really good guy and brings out the best in her, and then Malachite doesn't, and he's like, stop faking it, you're not a hero, you're just as dark as I am. And they have really good chemistry, and like people want them to be together, but like he's toxic, he's not good, he's like every toxic boyfriend you've ever had, and he's done bad shit, and it's crazy. And so yeah, the prequel that I would do would center around him and another character, and it would give a lot of unanswered questions answers. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
I might have messed that one up.
It would answer a lot of unanswered questions. Boom.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic, I can't talk.
You got it, you're good.
So yeah, I don't know though, because sci-fi just doesn't do well right now. Like the second book has more fantasy in it than sci-fi just because of that. I think when people hear that it has sci-fi in it, they think it's like some old, slow, boring, drawn out, like old man sci-fi. I don't know what they think when they hear it. I don't know. But it turns them off. So
Let me ask you, okay, I've heard this genre, I haven't looked into it because I don't think it applies to me, but I could be wrong. But there is a genre that's been tossed, or subgenre term that's been tossed around here, science fantasy. And I don't know if that's a fusion of science fiction fantasy or more of a scientific based fantasy. I don't know. So I don't know if that's something that might apply to you. I don't know. But like, I know there are a lot of more and more people interested in science fantasy, but I don't know if that's the right genre for you. Anyhow, maybe it's a term that works for you, and maybe that's some way to like pitch a book. I haven't looked into it. I do like for my young adults, I have a portal fantasy, but it does use science fiction terms like wormholes and portals and stuff like that. And we're world jumping between physical worlds as well as multiple dimensions and all these kind of, again, science fiction terms, but it's a full fantasy. We're dealing with dragons. We're dealing with worlds where, mermaids exist. We're dealing with worlds where the Fae exist. We're dealing with a lot of fantasy stuff. But so I've never really kind of like catered it as science fiction. It's definitely fantasy forward first with sci-fi undertones based on terms and understanding, but I don't know. It is interesting that there are a lot more fusion categories that kind of layer over things.
Totally. And yeah, I've always marketed it as like a sci-fi fantasy or a sci-fantasy or a fantasy sci, whatever they want to call it. So, and it really is like, I think what makes mine the most sci-fi is that it's a little futuristic and there's aliens and that has like futuristic tech in it. So, but the aliens look like Fae. I call them Sky Fae, is what I call them in the book. Because they just look like Fae basically. So they're just like really hot with pointy ears and canines. Like,
well, I will let you know. Yeah. I will let you know. This is something that I've been like mulling over, maybe for me to do a series down the line. Who knows? I don't know. I have to feel it out. But there is a book I have on one of my shelves, and it's just like one of those obscure theory books. But it was talking about the parallels of Fae lore and extraterrestrials and fairy rings, crop circles, being abducted. The certain descriptions outside of the Greys. Everybody thinks of the Greys, but if you get beyond the Greys, a lot of these category descriptions of extraterrestrials kind of replicate certain category descriptions of Fae, and there's a whole thing about it. And I was just like, that's cool. So, what you
Yeah.
were talking about actually just is like, that's
Mhm.
cool. Maybe they are one and the same.
Yeah, and it is cool, and that's like, and I talk about more of them being sky fae like in the second book. I wish I would have came up with that term for the first one, and I didn't think of it until the second one. But yeah, and like one of the commenters says, like a lot of the characters really do look like fae, like it really just they just fit it, and so like the reader can decide, are they really fae, are they aliens, are aliens fae, are fae aliens, and that just leaves it up to them to just
Love
decide,
it.
and they can decide. And even in the third one, I have found a way to bring dragons in, and I'm gonna do it. So I am
I
so
got
fucking
really
excited.
excited there.
I know, and I'm so excited to do it, and I know exactly how I'm going to do it, and it will make total sense because it seems super random if you've read even the first one. You're like, wait, what? How? But no, I know how, and I'm really excited to do that. I think she's even going to write them, and I don't think it's going to be like super, it's not going to make it like a super big part of it, but I'm still going to be able to bring them in. It's not going to be like in Fourth Wing where it's like they're the center of it, but it'll still be a really cool way to bring it in. So I'm excited to do that and to have them in there, and if I want to make them like traditional dragons or if I want to make them a little different, like my own type of dragon.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to write it. Like I need a break though. Like I'm a little burnout from just constantly working on this second one. And I mean like I wrote this thing real fast. I wrote it in like 2-3 months. Um so I just haven't had a break since. So I really need to just take a break. And
Yeah,
then
and you should. You
once
don't want to have burnout, and that's the thing. Is a lot of authors, especially young authors, get burnout because they try so hard, and it is hard. And that's the thing. Is like for me, I finally got to the stage, and it was partly thanks to COVID because I had a little more time than I thought I was gonna have, and figured out how to do a staggered system where it looks like I'm releasing regularly, but the books themselves may still take a couple years before writing them and publication, but I'm staggering them, and it always looks like I'm like turning things, but it's an illusion. And I
yeah,
really
nice.
like it still takes years, like
Yeah.
years. And it's faster. It's faster. My first one was almost a decade from the idea. I'll admit 4 years for college idea, and then actually publication, figuring out how to publish it took me a long time. And
Me
now,
too.
they're faster, a year and a half, a year, maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't really calibrated. Again, I have the staggered system where it looks like I'm writing fast, which is
Yeah.
great because it's not
That's
true.
good.
It's really not
Like it's
true.
all a lie.
It is a
It's
lie, a
hilarious. I
beautiful
love it.
lie. But yeah, no, no one should like feel obligated to turn a book around at any particular time. And you don't want burnout because burnout can crush a young writer, can crush a writer at any stage, but like I do think it affects younger writers a lot. So take your break, acknowledge, give yourself the pat on the back. You've published 2 books. Exactly. And not small ones either. Like you said, the second one, she's thick. With 2 Ks.
She's thick. She's thick, yeah. And I mean, because next month I have 2 events back-to-back weekends, and then the following I have another event in November. And so it's just like, I don't know when I'm gonna get a break, but I'm not gonna start writing again until probably December, if not after that, and then crank it out in another 2 months again,
Yeah.
and then start getting it edited.
Holidays or chaos. Take a break for the holidays. You're going to try to do something and it never works. I always try to be far more productive and it never works. And I have to like train myself, hi! That never works. But I do have a question that popped up and it said, was asking, do we self-publish or do we use some kind of company, either small print, mid-print, or trad? So I'll let you go first. Or did I lose you first again? Well,
Okay,
you got it. Okay, we're back.
yeah,
Okay,
so
go.
am I back?
Yes, you are.
Am I back? Okay. Yeah, I self-publish and you can find my books on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all that. I'm going to be selling direct really soon. But to get stock is like crazy expensive. Like I just placed an order for like $750 for my books for my event next month. And so with either the money from that or the leftover books, I'll be doing like TikTok shop and I have my own website and everything. I even have WooCommerce. Like I have everything set up already to sell direct. And I just need the stock and I didn't want to start it until book two came out and I had like a good stock to go and do it. So I'll be able to do that and they'll be signed, of course, and I'll have other stuff with it. So I'll be doing that. But yeah, I am not trad pubbed or anything, but I go through Amazon and Ingram Spark. So yeah.
You know what? One of the things, like, again, if I figure out how to do this bookshop on my website, one of the next stages would do a shop on Book Talk
Yeah.
function. If that works, if. You should get a bunch of authors together, do a live book signing with multiple authors at the same time. I know I lost her for a second. I'm just saying, throwing that out there. Multiple authors live signing at the same time. I think that would be fun.
Yes, yes.
But yes, you're glitching for the moment. There we go. Yeah, I see you back. But yeah, going back to the question. I am also self-published. Right now, I am still, well, almost exclusively through Zon, hardback, paperback, hardcover, paperback, ebook, audibles, all that through them. I pulled out of KU relatively recently. The idea is heading next year, because it will take me a moment, because I'm not techie and it takes time. I want to make my stuff available wide for people who, don't necessarily buy through Zon and be able to do this bookshop function. Currently, I do signed copies of signed physical copies through my Etsy shop, but that's my roundabout because I'm also a pet portraiture artist, so it's very confusing when you're like, animal painting, fantasy book. What?
That's funny.
But yes, my
That's
future
hilarious.
bookshop, I want to do like book box bundles and book merch and all that stuff, and theoretically it'll be cool, but we will see. I don't know. It'll take a moment. It's always slower for me.
Yeah.
It's just not tech savvy. I cry inside a lot.
It's okay. Tech is hard, like, and I'm getting older too, and I feel like some of this stuff is like getting over my head, and I'm like an old person because I look a lot older than I am, and yeah, so sometimes I'm like, dude, I'm getting like too old for this shit.
Yeah, no,
So,
I understand. I
yeah.
keep trying to challenge myself to be up, but like be on top of it. But like, there's some things that like I haven't joined threads yet. And maybe something I should. Oh my goodness, look at that baby. Sorry, animal person. I don't know if you glimpsed my dog kind of walk through a moment ago or a few minutes ago. But like, I love dogs and pets. Yes, I love pet portraiture. I do paint a lot of pets, and I do reverse glass painting. It's really weird, but I don't know. I love it. Anywho, if you're interested, check the thing you click on. Actually, I can say it on live. Check my link. There's Etsy. You can find it there. It's just mixed in with the books. I'm sorry. It's weird. I'm sorry. But point being, but yes.
No, it's not.
Love all animal stuff, and that's why a lot of my fantasy incorporates a lot of animal themes and undertones in various ways in my books so far. Maybe it'll change going forward, but that's where it is right now. Now, let me ask you before, because actually our hour is like sprinting by. We already talked about where we can find your books. Good question. Do you have a website, which I think you already answered, but let's verify, and newsletter, where can people find you and follow you? So what socials are you on? I think you're glitching at the moment, but we will try to get you back and answer that in the meantime. But yes, let's see. Okay, I think you're back. Okay. So where are your socials?
Am I normal?
Kind of, sort of, like I can't see you moving, but I hear you. So what are your socials? Website? Do you have a newsletter? Let's make sure we hit the gamut.
Okay. Yeah, my website is justmyname.com. So Arabella K Federico. Don't forget the K or you won't find me. And free social media. So Instagram, TikTok, obviously, YouTube, Pinterest, probably something different. And with with my newsletter, you can sign up on the website. So sign up there. There's a bunch of things you can get for signing up. There's like writing advice stuff you can get. Then there's like my novella, but news about my novella, it's not related to the Mark of Creation series at all. It's like a spooky, witchy story. I'm actually going to be pulling it and putting that up on Amazon and actually publishing it this October. So I'm going to be pulling it. So if you want to read it now, you should, because I'm going to be pulling it. But it's only going to be like 99 cents on Amazon. It's only like 10,000 words, but I just want it to have you ever heard of Wibell Island?
I think we're starting to lose you, but the point being is, for anybody who's watching, cross fingers that this works, because I've had a couple of glitches recently and it weirds me out, that I will be able to download and re-upload this onto my YouTube, where I will put all her information down below, so it'll be easy clicks and you'll find all her socials and website and all that kind of stuff right there as well. Hopefully it works, because I've been having a couple glitches lately, and I blame this platform because they blame themselves too. But yeah, one of my other questions, not necessarily the last, we'll see. But I do want to ask if the ether allows you to answer, is there any topic that we did not cover, or any question you would like to ask that you didn't ask so far? And if so, this is your time to do so. And same goes for anybody watching. If there is anything last questions you have for us about anything, specifically probably bookish, but it could be pets, it could be other things, who knows. But yeah, let us know at this time, because we're here to answer questions. But yeah, so I think we're starting to peter out with.
I don't think that. Yeah.
I think I got you back. Yes. Maybe not.
Back.
You're breaking up really hard, so we may be tapping out soon. Just
You're
because.
Good on my end. I don't know.
Yeah, on my end it's pretty hard, but like who knows? I don't know if it's my service, your service, somewhere in between. Everybody else can comment differently. I do have a question that popped up saying, will you do a book signing anytime on the East Coast? And I don't know if that's for me or for you, but would you ever consider doing an East Coast book signing? Let me start with you.
You can hear me. There may be one that I will be coming to in 25. It just depends if I get accepted or not. The Starfall Ball that I'm going to next year in Colorado, that same company is doing one in New Jersey. But I live on the West Coast, so I probably won't make it over there often. If they accept me to go, I will go to that one. But that's the only one I'm even remotely considering.
Fair enough. And again, I'm an East Coast person, so going to the West Coast, it would be a challenge too. And I understand that, because I've talked to people on your side of the woods multiple times, and I always am curious, because I'm like, well, we ever actually maybe somewhere in between, who knows? But it is one of those things when you're an indie author, you only have so much of a budget. You have to be strategic on where you go, and you want to be fair to your readers. So that's why I think these figuring out how to do online signings, yes, it's not face to face, but if you could still see someone sign your book and know that it's coming to you in the mail, and I don't know, I think that's like the next best thing. Obviously you want to meet people face to face, but I don't know. I like that idea. If I could figure out how to do a group signing, we could do like a fantasy signing together, and then have a bunch of us together and do our TikTok shop signing live, and I think that would be kind of fun. We could all talk books.
I think that's a great idea. You should really figure out how to do it, because that's a great idea, and I totally want it 100%.
Yeah, Yeah, and yes, BookBox.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I did hear you. I did hear you. It's delayed, but I did hear you. And I do see a comment saying online signings with BookBox maybe. I'm totally fine with book boxes. Again, I've been trying to figure out how to do some for me, and then I thought it was really cool, and I don't know if she's still on, but another author sent me her book box, her promo book box, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. I need to up my game. But no, it's fun. I like doing the little bundles of stuff. It's really cool because every author is different, and just depending on what you write and how you represent stuff, depends on how what you want to put in your book box. And could be character art, could be, I have, tea and a recipe card. I saw that I don't think it's something you would necessarily sell, but I saw you were showing something of like a color palette that meshed with your book cover for makeup wise. And I was like, that's cool.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yeah, a gal did that for me. So, yeah, she did it for me. That's just her platform, is she just takes book covers and makes makeup palettes out of them.
So cool.
It was so genius. I know. So she does them for me, and we have it for book 1 and 2, and we'll do it for number 3, and yeah, so much fun. I wish it was real.
Yes, no, that is cool. That is fantastic. And again, like everybody comes up with some creative stuff, be it book people or people who support book people, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, since we made it through the hour, even though we were having glitches, we made it through the hour. One, congrats to us. But yeah, if anybody has any last questions, feel free to ask. And it seems that I got you back. So yes, going back to the question I asked you, is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we weren't able to cover at this moment?
I think we got to everything. Yeah, we got to everything really. Like, I would just go buy the books.
Yeah, go buy the books, read the books. They're going to be dragons in her third book. So if you're a dragon lover like me, start the book series right now. It's going to be a trilogy.
So excited.
It is so funny.
I cannot wait.
I am obsessed with dragons. I have always been obsessed with dragons. Again, my other career is, my supplement career is an artist. Paint pets, paint animals. But when I was going through school, one of the things I was studying art, and to get my degree, I had to do a solo show, and most people are like very niche, and they're like, okay, we're going to do this style of ceramics, or we're going to do this style of painting, or whatever. I was like, I'm doing dragons. And it was like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to do dragons. And so I had a solo show, and everything was on the history of the dragon. It was like supposed to be like a history, kind of a nature history museum, and you come in, and I had a whole panel, and I had all different styles. I had like every style I could think of art, and I had like anything from ceramics and sculpture. I had a giant dragon head that had glowing eyes breaking through the back of the gallery, and it was a mess. It was fantastic, but I love dragons. So when I started writing, and my first series did not have a dragon, people were so shocked, so shocked. But yes, I love dragons, and I finally am able to weave in dragons with my 2 series I'm publishing now. They make sense. But yeah, I love anything to do with dragons, so
nice.
I'm curious. But yes, and also going back, your covers are gorgeous. Cool. And the fact I love them. Covers gorgeous. And I told another author here, and I'll tell you, just because I can't hear you, so that's why I'm speaking a lot, and I don't want to feel like you're cutting you off, but it's kind of like you're glitching. But I'm gonna throw another idea at you. Not that I know how to do it, because it is beyond me. But if you could find someone, and I told this to another author, who had someone design custom fantasy weapons for them. If you find someone who can do 3D printing, have them 3D print your book cover weapons. Yes. And then you can have them as props at signings on this platform, wherever. Plus, it's really cool. Just throwing that idea out there, again, beyond me, but just throwing that idea out there.
No, it's genius.
Well,
such a good idea.
I'm glad. I love throwing ideas out. Now, most of them are probably not.
No, that's a great idea.
But yeah, see, I want a 3D printer.
Still,
I want a 3D printer. I wouldn't know how to do it. That's the problem.
Yeah, me too.
But
me too. Amazing.
Okay, well, let me let you go. I know the service has not been in our favor too much, but it's actually been better than some of these. I've had some glitches with these before, and it hasn't been that terrible. But yes, for anybody watching, make sure you follow because you can find out more about her series and all the books coming out and the one that just published, since it has been a double release, one for me this week, one for her last week. So follow if you want. You don't have to, no obligations. Come and hang out with us anytime you see us live or ask us questions on any socials. But yeah, thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. And again, if you ever want to do this again, maybe when you release the final one of your trilogy, I mean, I do them weekly.
No, I'd love to come back. Yeah, just let me know if you ever need anybody, and I'll let you know too. I'd probably come back before then because that's going to be like a year, so we should do something in between.
Oh yes, definitely.
I think
A
that'd be
year's
fun.
too long. A year's too long.
Yeah, like I want to come back sooner.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe we can do one of these book sign things for together. I love this idea. I love this
Do it.
idea. Sorry,
I do too. Do it.
one of my new ideas.
No, do it.
Or it would be
Do it.
complicated. Figuring out how to do a group bundle. I don't know if you could do that. A group giveaway? I don't know how you do that. I don't know. I
Yeah, no, people do that. Yeah, they do it all the time on Instagram, constantly.
Yeah, so
Constantly.
I feel like we could do something like that with some people here on this platform and do like a live chat with people and then draw a winner or something and be like, well, who knows? So, I love ideas.
Yeah. Me too. And I'm game. Yeah.
I said very bad.
And I'm game for like anything. Sorry, I'm speaking over you.
Oh, no, I think I'm speaking over you. I apologize.
No, same. I think we're both just so excited.
It is. Well, again, one more time, because I can't say it enough, because it is a big deal. Congratulations on your latest release. Take a breath.
Thanks. You too.
Take your time, relax, enjoy the holidays, start fresh in the new year. It's okay. But yeah, we'll hang out again before too long. And for everybody who's been listening and watching, thank you so much. And we will see you next time. And as I mentioned earlier, I will cross my fingers and hope to download this, upload this on my YouTube, so I have all the tags of hers here, so you can find, follow, and buy. Just saying. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful Friday, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone.